Diana, thank you for joining us. You're a social critic, satirist, a veteran news person. Have you ever seen anything in your news career as bizarre as the Jeffrey Epstein supposed suicide?
Oh, there's a list of things I've seen in my time, but this is definitely at the top of my list right now. And as far as the conspiracy theories go, I have to say, the one that says that he's still alive, I don't believe it at all.
You don't want to go with that one?
No, I mean,
I'm going for
neither does
TV
anybody
ratings
else.
here. I gotta be an outlier.
I know, but I just can't. I don't think he's alive, but I also don't think that he committed suicide. I definitely think that someone put a hit out on him for sure.
Someone
as a cover-up.
in a conspiracy theory, like who? What kind of someone?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to throw out
Well,
names.
I'm saying, what would be the logical conspiracy theories?
Well, the logical one was anybody that would be indicted as a result of his crimes is going to put a stop to him naming them in any
Prince
kind of...
Andrew.
Prince Andrew, fine. Bill Clinton, I know.
Bill Clinton.
Everybody wants me to say Bill Clinton.
No, we don't want you to say anything. We're just talking about the usual suspects.
But I will say
maybe it was
something-
Kaiser Soze.
I will say something else about that, though. Whoever had him killed, I say bravo. I know it doesn't really bring justice, it brings a slower justice to the victims because obviously the investigation is going to get a little bit more difficult now. However, I know my husband always says don't go around telling people you're all for vigilante justice. However, I do think there's a place for it in some weird way. I do, and I know that probably makes me a non-liberal in my stance.
These labels, who needs them? Who needs them? Liberal, conservative, whatever.
Female, I know this is
somebody that a lot of people are calling for a little bit of vigilante justice with today is Congressman Steve King, a Republican of Iowa, who after losing all of his committee assignments is still in Congress. He lost the committee assignments, by the way, after making some white supremacist comments. Now he's made comments that seem to be supportive of rape and incest and not wanting abortions in those instances. What do you think this does to Steve King's political career going forward?
I can't imagine that it will affect it too much because there have been many people in office who have done worse things. However, I'd like to say, as a woman, and again, sandwiched between two
anti-rape woman, right?
For
Mostly?
the most part, yeah. I
Except
think so.
Steve King.
Okay.
Anti-rape and incest, but also this is just another lame brain excuse for telling women what they can do with their bodies. You know, I will never sit here and say that, oh, that makes sense. You know, when it comes to abortion, it doesn't matter what you say. I don't care. You want to throw religion into it. You want to throw politics into it. You want to throw anything. Do whatever you want. Nothing will ever convince me that anybody can tell a woman what they can do with their body. Now, as far as incest and rape, I mean, I think the people who commit incest and rape have more rights than a woman because they have due process. They go to jail. They have a trial. But a woman, by law or by some law, cannot actually do whatever she wants with her body.
Well, I mean, the reality of the situation is that you as a woman, you still do have a right.
Well, you
due to the Supreme
but they're
Court.
trying.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't have a right to rape anybody.
They do, according to the Supreme Court. I know, but they're trying to make it difficult state by state. So it's just the fact that we're still debating this is unbelievable, and I can't believe that I'm back on the show debating a woman's right to
choose.
Hey,
you're a woman. We got to give you a woman's issue.
Steve King.
But that's how often it comes up.
You're right.
He's basically stripped of all his dignity, all of his services, and all of his responsibilities to Congress. I don't know how the people in his district keep him elected. I'd be calling for him to step down after some of the things he said. I mean, women overwhelmingly should want this guy run out of town.
The president himself. And can I say this at Newsmax? But the president has said many things, and he's still in office. I mean, former presidents have done things, and they remained in office. So it doesn't surprise me that maybe this congressman will keep his job.
I don't think you're saying that the president said anything on the level of what Steve King is saying.
And again, it's still early in the day. We don't know what President
We're not going to talk
Trump's
about
gonna say in New
grabbing
Hampshire.
certain body parts. No, that's cool.
Well, no, I mean that's significantly different than what Steve King is talking about.
But
I'm
you're
not
talking
saying
about
I agree
levels.
with it, but it was
It's not the same
classified as-
category, but
no,
it's the same level.
locker room talk, but I'm still stuck on you not being willing to understand that Epstein could still be alive. I'm not joking.
Really?
They don't wheel dead bodies into the hospital. If he was dead in his cell.
But maybe he was murdered in the hospital.
So you think there is a chance that he was still alive when he went to the hospital?
He was taken to a second location and then might have been off by somebody.
Okay. So it does exist in your mind that he was not dead in his cell.
Absolutely.
How about Elvis? Any consensus on Elvis?
No, I mean I'm down
Tupac?
with Elvis being dead. Tupac's dead.
How about Andy Kaufman?
Kaufman.
There is probably an island somewhere out there with Biggie Smalls, Tupac,
Amelia Earhart, obviously.
Elvis, and now Epstein may very well be there. But I'm with you. You know, on December 25th, the U.S. federal government is bringing back capital punishment. So Epstein may have been facing the death penalty for the harm he brought to all these children. So maybe whoever did it did a service, but I would just like to know he's dead. And we saw Saddam Hussein dead.
Right.
We saw Osama bin Laden dead. They showed us dead bodies.
Right.
Why can't we see better than cause of death pending? Like what would the New York Examiner's Office say pending?
Because I guess they didn't want to reveal that it could have been a murder.
Okay, I like
Because they're going with suicide, right? Because if it's a murder, then that's a whole other investigation.
That's right.
Right?
So apparent suicide is all we have to go with right now. Hey, welcome back. Just 5 minutes till the end of hour one, but we're going to keep forging through. We're going 2 hours heavy and strong. And in this last segment, the last call of hour one, Marlena Shivo joins us again. I want to remind you that today, August 15th, is National Relax Day. So sit back and relax. I'm certainly not going to be celebrating Relax Day, not today, but the day I'm having. And it's also National Lemon Meringue Pie Day, and I love myself a nice Entenmann's lemon meringue pie. But Marlena, Frank, breaking news you have for us out of Kenya.
Well, yes, and again, I hate to bring this sort of unseemly news to your attention on a holiday as august as National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. However, one regional assembly in Kenya is said to have been temporarily delayed, pardon my saying so, but by a fart. The BBC is reporting that debates about market stalls were happening in the Homa Bay County Assembly before the foul-smelling disruption. And apparently an assembly member told others that, quote, "One of us has polluted the air, and I know who it is." But that other member denied the accusation. The Speaker of this assembly reportedly ordered a break when members were told to take a breather outside. Air fresheners were brought in upon the request of the Speaker, who said, quote, "We cannot continue sitting in an environment that smells bad." However, reports also say that the smell soon subsided, and thankfully the session continued.
Well, all I will say to this, Marlene, and I want to get your take on it, being the satirist you are, but saying the one lawmaker denied it, and I think everybody knows the age-old standard. Whoever denied it supplied it. So that's our culprit right there.
I thought it was whoever smelt it dealt it.
You are both
but then
correct.
you come back with the denied it, supplied it.
I am the authority on this, apparently, which is why I'm sitting here for some reason.
You get the most authoritative topics, let me tell you.
That's right. And Caterman didn't show up.
You know, I mean, I love the story on the heels of things like Epstein and, Steve King, because it's ridiculous. But
let's stink the place up a little more.
I love that they stopped and let everybody out, because I've been in situations in a gym, in a class, in any kind of fitness class, where someone does that and you can't figure out who it is, and then you can't leave, because if you leave, everyone's going to think it was you.
Well, according to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's new Green Deal, one of the things we must cut back on as an American society is cow flatulence.
Oh, yes.
So she's probably quite annoyed about this Kenya instance still, because it's hurting the environment.
Well, Sir John, this is really no way to celebrate National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. Now, there was a time on this show where there used to be foods provided, and that was the lunch part of Liquid Lunch was taken very seriously.
Farts.
Yeah, and now the budget cuts have slowly but surely taken their toll. First they came for Aries, then Rose, then Eliana, now poor Lamont, and now the food. No food, even on National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. I thought for sure.
I should have got one. I
don't like lemon flavored desserts. The only lemon I like is in my vodka and soda. as you well know.
Cheers. That's true.
Fair enough. You have a vodka and soda?
I do.
Oh, you didn't even tell me. I mean, I have all this free liquor here.
I was actually mannerly enough not to bring mine to the table, but you know.
All right, well, that's what we do on Liquid Lunch. You know, that's one of the,
But
you know, when Frankie talks
I have a
about
reputation to
no
maintain.
food, and we always have liquor.
That's right.
So, you know, we have an open door policy, and you don't have to leave it on the side. You could bring it on, but are we done with the farts? No?
Well, that's up to the Kenyan
I don't
people.
think we ever are, but hey.
That's done up to the Kenyan people.
Can we go on to another satirical topic? That
Absolutely. Well, it's also National Leather Craft Day. I don't know if you have a desire.
Leathercraft,
I don't even know what a
Yeah,
leathercraft is.
no one does.
Leathercraft is like those little horse whips that people use, like
Of
a
course you would know
leather
about
whip
leather whips.
thing
What else, John?
with the feathers on the end or
Oh, and there's
something like
feathers,
that.
too.
You got the rodeo guys; they got the big whips. Those are like leather crafts.
Okay.
Well, so here was something interesting on the Epstein saga that we didn't get to. Apparently, the New York Post reporting today that Epstein owned all sorts of bizarre items.
That's right.
Including a pretty bizarre painting of former President Clinton in a blue dress. It's pretty odd, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to hear there's a lot more odd things like that, including some leather goods that were probably used in some of these crazy sexual escapades that he was going on about. But,
What about the hall or the wall of eyeballs?
a wall of eyeballs?
And then and a statue of a dog and a sculpture of its feces next to it. I mean, it gets worse as the list goes on.
The story gets worse and worse, but the show must go on. We will forge forward into hour 2. I want to thank Marlene Schiavo for leaving her drink off set, but joining us on set. We'll be back right after this.